today. So I got the pop-up set up and gonna be going at taking the harness out, and I think that's pretty much all I'm gonna try to accomplish today. So in order to do that, I do have to pull the intake plenum, and we're gonna get into what's going on there. Because as we saw in the last video, we still got the crankcase ventilation right there. Ooh, it's windy. I hope it doesn't blow away. But also, it looks like some of the coolant matrix is still there too. Yeah, so that's gonna be fun. I don't know anybody who pulls the plenum and doesn't block that off. So yeah, first thing you're gonna want to do is go ahead and undo those hoses as best as you possibly can. If you can't get to the clips or whatever, just go ahead and, whether it's, worm clamps, or if you got these spring style clamps, go ahead and loosen up your intake bolts, and you will be able to get a little bit of movement out of it. Now, if the intake plenum's never been pulled, you'll have the EGR pipes, and that is a real pain to work on. If you live in a state that still respects the freedom to build cars into race cars, then what you can do is go ahead and cut it and unbolt it from there, or leave it bolted in for and pinch it shut and weld it. Got this return hose I still gotta take off, and then back here I got that goofy looking brake booster vacuum hose, something or other going on. I don't know why it's down there. I can't just pull it up. I don't know what it's attached to. I don't know why it's down there. It's so weird. We'll find out. Dang it, man. Mainly what you're gonna want to do is get out your heater pipes and disconnect all these heater hoses, go into the coolant matrix up underneath the intake plenum there. Over here on this side, things get a little more tricky with the harness. There would be a bracket right here, along with the EGR solenoids and everything. I went ahead and started taking the spring clamps off. But back here for the idle air controls, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and take pretty much all this off. I gotta make it as easy as possible. I'm replacing all the gaskets on it. If you're resurrecting a Z32, I highly suggest you do the same. Just go ahead and start removing everything. Document it with your own camera, take pictures so it's easier going back together. And, organization is key. With that valve removed, got access to a lot more now. It's easier getting to this vacuum line, and that heater pipe down there, that one will get you stuck. So, also, I still gotta remove the connector. Again, we've got way better access to it now. I went ahead and removed the bolts for the coils. I'll go ahead and pull those as well. I'm not sure what's going on there. That was weird. Found it in there just like that. I mean, I pulled it out and then I put it right back in, but yeah, that was weird. All right, too easy, man. So, yeah, like I said, the most important ones are the hoses at the rear of the intake. Also, you're gonna want to get your crankcase ventilation hoses removed and such. But you can see there's that heater hose right there, and those guys right there. I don't know what the heck is going on with this thing. It's all looking like bad news, man. I'm just gonna try and get as much off of the backside there. One of those heater pipes, I forget which one, will actually unbolt from. There's two bolts that face down. I can get to those and pull it off. I'd rather do that now. And then still don't know what's going on with the brake booster over there. That's still not making sense just yet. Right. One other thing. The coolant matrix, all these hard pipes and everything, those are all going bye-bye. You can go ahead and unbolt those and chuck them in the trash. You're not going to need any of that crap. Now, people wonder why they would circulate hot coolant through the throttle bodies when, yes, you would want your intake charge to be colder. You wouldn't want hot coolant circulating through them. The reason why they have hot coolant circulating through the throttle bodies is because when that throttle blade is pitched open just a hair, the air velocity moving past that blade and around the bore of the throttle is really cold on entry. So when you're in freezing temperatures, what they found was that people would come off the highway, get to the exit and roll up to the stop sign, but their throttle was stuck open and it'd be pulling them into the intersection. That's no good. So in order to overcome that, they circulate coolant through it, keeps it from icing over, and yeah, it'll never get stuck. But man, I do not need that down here. It's too hot for that. Take a peek down in there and see if there's any damage. Ooh, I hope not. So I found the brake booster hose hooked up to this lower coolant pipe right there, which goes over to that heater pipe. Yeah, man, that's I don't even know what to think now. Also, oh man, red, that's a no-go. Just stay away from red altogether. It belongs on like exhaust gaskets for rusty parts, and even then I would use copper. Nah, man, tight tolerance aluminum to aluminum surfaces, use gray. Even on cooling system components, use gray. You don't have to use blue, you don't use orange or red or copper or black. Don't even use black, use gray. Black you can use for your valve covers, but I mean gray works even better. Usually I only recommend black on iron surfaces. Alright, so it's the driver's side, the left-hand side heater pipe that gets removed. See, 2 bolts right there, pops right out. Now I gotta work on getting this harness through there. It's too tight to fit through there, so I've got to work it from underneath. So I want to unclip that guy right there. All right, got to a point where it was thin enough and it slid right through. We're all good. So next part, let's see, it's the main section of the harness there. Has to come up through the firewall, and we'll pull it out through there. And then I gotta peel the bumper back and get to a couple connections there. Okay, here inside we got a couple connections at the ECU. This dash interface connector, and then the main connector just behind this plate right here. We're gonna unbolt this support brace for the HVAC boxes, and then I'm gonna unbolt the ECU and unbolt the connector. Oh yeah, this guy right here, that's got to get gone. I'm gonna go ahead and just disconnect it. There's also supposed to be a relay for it. It's either over here or over there. I will double check and get more info on that for you guys. But yeah, that anti-theft relay and, well, the anti-theft module and the relay. Okay. ECU removed, harness is fed through. That's what the side of the ECU looks like. You see that screw right, that nut right there. Your main connector will just screw right into it. You'll see it's a big, thin blue guy. Looks like that. And there's the bolt. Looks like that. Yeah, got the whole harness, removed from the engine and the firewall. Now you can see you got lots of room. And yep, your EGR valve is gone. Not there. Sweet. Lots of work done for me. Is that still capped off? It is. Nice. All right, well, that about does it for that. Like I said, next up I gotta get behind the bumper there and finish up with disconnecting it from the rest of the vehicle, and then I'll have an engine harness on my hands. So yeah, the fuse block has been relocated. Not exactly the best, it wasn't really secured to much of anything, but no big deal. I found a couple of the grounds right there. One of the grounds for the engine harness. So you're gonna want to disconnect the engine harness from these guys right here, which, you know, they're down here underneath the vehicle. But yeah, no, I should be able to just pull it right on out now. Let's see here. Should be able to pull it right on out now. Yeah. All right, that's it, man. Harness is out. I'll be able to delume it and start, detangling it really, and getting my groupings going on for when it. I have to actually trim a lot of wiring back off of this thing. Yeah, it's a lot of work. It's gonna take probably a whole weekend or 2 weekends to actually go through the whole thing. I'll try and get as much detail as I can as I do it. What we got going on over here was the filler for the coolant overflow jug over here. The dude had passed those connections through right there, and I had to remove it in order to get those connectors through. That was all there was to that. So, heck yeah, man. See, look, it ain't that big, it ain't that, intimidating. It's just a motor like any other. It's actually pretty easy. A little upset about the rust on the crankshaft there. We'll have to see what I can do about that. And then what's going on right there? I don't like that stuff. I don't like that stuff at all. A lot of weird things. That's all right. We'll get it fixed up. But so the last thing that I want to do is go ahead and get these cut right here. I'm gonna cut those, and that way I can pull that back and out of there. And I'll call it quits for today. Put the bumper back on it. Get all this junk cleaned up. All that's junk. All that's getting saved. I might reuse a whole bunch of that stuff. I don't know what's going on with that. I'll have to figure it out. And I'm gonna have to put some work in on the plenum. Gotta make some more clearance for this injector right here, the number 1 injector, which I like to do it with just a cutoff wheel, and I'll do a video on that too. Well, that sucks. Yeah, that's pretty rusty, man. Even if they're not bent, that's bad. That's really bad. Oh man, yeah, that's not good at all. So cylinder heads are probably fucking wiped. I'll have to go to a machine shop. I don't know if the valve seats are saved, if any of that can be saved. That's tough. Oh well.